All right, we are back again doing the educational videos. So it's me playing, rapid 10-0 with any players. This is 2100. All right, so it's me explaining the moves. So d4, g6, modern. I mean, let's try some kind of a London here. Bishop f4, e3. Knight f3 typical. You can play h3, bishop h2 if you have to. If you have to deal with any kind of e5 break, c3, knight d2, he castles. You can play here rook e8. So this is typical. Like it feels like a typical London kind of stuff. e4. We always need to be careful about pawn moving. e4, e3 is potential. Maybe he wants to play b5. We could also play e4, stopping all these ideas. Maybe you could play e4. We could play bishop e3, e4, e3. Maybe just e4, stopping all the possible plans. Knight e6, knight e7. I just need to be careful when bishop d3 does not allow e5. Knight just take and knight takes. Maybe just bishop e2, just to make it cleaner, so I don't get hit by e5 or anything like this. So he plays knight c7. Is he going for b5? I mean, knight e6, bishop h2. This is pretty awkward. Knight here. And maybe knight c4, stopping an e here. We could always take. I don't understand knight d7s. Here, knight c4, we could take control over the game. He doesn't have b5. We could take a knight takes, or rook takes c5. Let's try this. We're stopping e5. That's good news. I mean, this is really a little bit passively by black. f5 may give some weaknesses, like allowing some holes here. Queen b3 comes to mind. I mean, queen b3 is kind of discovery. Knight g5. I'm not sure where we're going with this. h6. I don't have knight e6 because the knight's still sitting here. Queen b3 comes to mind. Let's go for this. He's not careful. We could always hit him by knight takes d6 or knight b6. That would be check on the king on g8. He plays here, which is putting a piece, blocking. He wants to take here as well. All right, we go here. He has to be careful. f4 is not ideal. I can play e4 myself. So the bishop could sit on h2 in this line. It's actually perfectly fine. He plays h6. He doesn't like to see this. Apparently, knight h4. I mean, he doesn't want to see knight g5, knight e6. That's what he's trying to avoid. Knight h4 attacks here. He may just play g5. We're not really achieving anything. Any kind of stacking here does not really help. It's just helping him a little bit. Could we play here in some kind of push e4? I mean, this pin is interesting, but he may just play king h8. Bishop d3, maybe. Maybe here, so we could play e4. If we manage to get this kind of structure, having the bishop on e4, that kind of put some attack on d5. We just attacking g6. And instead of losing time with rook e1, so bishop d3 maybe more direct, e4. He doesn't have a concrete plan, like, he kind of making moves around. So he moved this knight and come back to f6. Not sure exactly what is he trying to do. But actually knight here is e4 stopping. He's kind of stopping, e4 because he could take. I mean, we could go back here and e4, maybe. Or we could play rook e1. e4 is not playable this way. he's gonna benefit from this. Maybe going back. I'm not convinced by this move, but we'll see. I mean, at least that the knight can't really move the pin. He makes us play like here, king h7, so he could get out of the pin. There's also bishop e6, which I just noticed about. Noticed if he could play like this on some kind of knight f4. Yeah, bishop e6. Maybe it's hanging here. Maybe that's the only reason he may not play bishop e6. So he played here instead. I don't know if I'm a fan of this move. I don't like it so much. I could play queen c2. I don't have to trade. There's no reason to trade. I could play here and try to get e4 in. There's maybe knight c4 jump. So maybe let's play here. Knight c4 would kick the queen out. So it kind of feels like it's a waste of move by black. I mean, if he wanted to move his queen, maybe it's more precise on queen c7. Like here. So it's not... Maybe the reason maybe c7 could be a problem. Also c4, c5, putting some pressure on d6. Maybe that's something that he doesn't feel like it's comfortable. You also have to be careful with c4. This allows a, like a direct square, free square for the knight on b4. So he plays bishop e6. Could we strike on e4? That's actually a really good move. Because now if we open up here, g6 becomes a concern, then we could try to claim open file, but, hopefully by rook e1. So here, bishop takes. We also, if he moves his rook, let's say here, we could take, bishop takes g6. He plays g5, which things are getting really wild now. So we could play rook e1. Potential take on d6 or something, and then e6 is going to be hanging, so he move out of the way. I mean, there's always opportunity of, sacking here. I don't know if I should do it for fun. Perhaps I might. It doesn't achieve much. It's just exposing his king. We're just gonna do it for fun. I don't think it works very well. I think the reason I take on g5 so I could put enough pressure, the king, but I don't know if it works. It's more like a bluff to me. Maybe we'll see. I mean, maybe queen here, d4 or bishop h7. They don't seem to connect yet. Like, I don't see a direct way of winning. And unless you start getting really passive, then let's say he plays knight c7, we'd always take on e7, rook takes, and now we could claim activity material. So he plays here. So he's getting his, let's say, could we try this? This is one way to claim activity. So if he takes, queen takes, is knight e6 that I'm trying to do. I mean, that's one way to say white is trying to get active with the pieces. We sack the piece to get some activity. We're exposing his king. We also have 2 pawns for it, but we just need more. And maybe because if you move back, this may allow, if he takes queen here, there's knight e6, which is not easy to stop. Because knight e6 would attack both queen here. So let's see what he does. If he plays e5, we could just take. That might be the 3rd pawn as well. There's knight e6 still there. So if it's white to move knight e6, almost win the game because it attacks the queen and checkmate. So he has to be careful with this. I'm not sure how he defend against it. I mean, does he really have to push a pawn? What else could he do? If he plays here, maybe he could think about queen d7, 86, rook f7. Maybe that's the way to defend. But having the knight on e6 like this is really troubling. This knight is really like... it almost feels like, this mating g7 idea is huge, right? So he may have to go like queen e8 maybe at some point, but even then it's hard. Maybe I could play c4, but this allows knight over here. But I'm trying to move this f6 defender, maybe knight g5. He's just go back here. c4, knight b4. I was looking at rook here, rook g3, so we could win knight takes g7 that way. Here, he just simply go back. So c4, knight c7. I don't have time for rook e3. That's actually the interesting part about this whole thing. Do we have time for h4, h5? This may work. He just moved his king. Let's try c4. I mean, he's gonna play knight c7, knight g5, rook f6, rook f8. Well, he plays here. That's not part of the plan. Do I play rook e3? I don't care about knight c2. Rook here, knight takes here is huge. So we play here. He had to play here so he could stop the threat of rook g3. Well, first of all, queen c2, I forgot that the queen could take it. The queen could take it. We'd probably take. That would be good enough. I was originally looking on rook g3. I mean, yeah, that's simply wins now. So d5 does not really stop anything. We could go back now, and he might try this. I don't think it works. We have bishop e5. So we could repeat queen g6 again with the idea of rook g3. We're putting some pressure on g7. If we play here knight e4, bishop here, with the queen defending e6, and then we just simply take on g7 next. So this move does not seem to click in. Yeah, so he does it anyway. So we play here. He may just need to go back to f6 though, maybe. Knight f6. So defending that way. This might be some knight g. It takes a knight g5 tactic. I'm not sure yet. Knight f6. We could possibly, yeah, that tactic could work. Knight g7. Knight g5. Right now he's attacking on e6, so that's something to keep an eye on. So this actually should be winning. Rook f8 takes. He cannot take here this mate. He cannot take here because of the king. That's actually the issue. He takes with the rook is queen h7. He may still have here though. I mean, choices are very limited here. I mean, I don't think he has anything. I could also slow play this. I don't have to like rush. I could still play rook g3. I mean, rook f8, rook g3. It's simple win. That I'm just moving 96 next move, and you're looking at some possible mates. So something like rook f8, rook g3. He could try e6, and then he could still take on e6. He doesn't have plan for queen takes because this queen takes g7 mate. The rook behind the queen. So he plays e6 here, giving up additional. All right, we take. When you take more, I mean, without sinking here, I just simply take everything and claim that we up at more material here. It's hard to play this. Unfortunately, this is already losing. I mean, this is also a very interesting way to play here. I just want to play here, go for the weaknesses. b7. So here, I mean, even if he goes here, does not achieve much you're up material here, you just exchange. You just exchange. Exchange pieces, makes things easier uh, to win. The person who's behind should keep pieces, more pieces on the board, so you could create some threats. You know, avoiding things to become really. B5 is wicked weird. Here, I could just stick with the pawn and this possible queening square here. C5 is also weird. I mean, he wants me to take, so I could rook takes here, which we are not having it. We just push for a queen, so it doesn't matter if C4, B7. He may have to go here and still lose another piece. So this doesn't save him. I mean, does not save him at all. Yeah, this is resignable, but you know, people love to take some more time to see if they have a way out. I mean, queen takes additional piece. We could take here next, and that's it. That's it. We could even try here if we have to. And easiest way is to exchange everything as much as possible. And this is also pinned. So by that time, yeah, you know, when I play here, we take and we are up a rook. Surprising that he's still playing on. He wants to play here. Try to claim a pawn, you know, try to get past pawns, but we stop this idea as a whole. So he doesn't grab this, stopping him all possible ideas that he has. Now it's free pawn, he goes back. Another free pawn, or he could take. There's no stalemates here. I could play here. I mean, not much to say around here, except the game is going to be over soon. So he wants to play e6. E6 is one way to stalemate. No, he resigns. All right, we play somebody else. We can do like 2 games or something. That's to get an idea. D4. All right, let's try G6. Still the modern defense, which you know, this is playable as I said before against, you know, against D4, E4. You could play here knight C6. Eventually get to play E5. Play here, this D here. You could always go back here. It's probably here, 97 here, possible. Could I play quick F5 though? Probably not. F5 next. I mean, sometimes people would love to play knight F6. So you want to try to get this break on F5. It may things a lot of, you know, like you may have some attacking ideas on the center. Because this is right on the center, and you want to attack on E4 as much as possible here. So you could castle, it's bishop D3, so F5. You want to be careful here when you play white even. I mean, I'm seeing people does here, which walk into F4. I mean, this is possible. Interesting idea by ideas could happen. I mean, if you take here, that's interesting. The real question is which way to take these. Knight takes. There's 3 ways. You can take this way, this way, this way. And they feel like all has a way, like they feel like all of them are unique in certain ways. I mean, maybe knight takes is interesting. Just keeping an eye on d4. So he plays b4, I play here. Queen c2. I don't know if I like this. I think I could take this bishop f5. There's also this diagonal opens up. Let's try it though. I mean, does he play here? I have here knight d4. I mean, the reason he might play this, he may not want to see queen takes e4, bishop f5. He may not like this idea. So if I play here knight takes e4, I mean, this is also not bad for black, assuming this is still very active. I mean, I could still castle. He may still play bishop d3 and some kind of bishop b2. So what I'm looking at is like here, I mean, I wouldn't be ruling out g4, to be honest, because he could go back and knight takes c4. I mean, this may feel like a little bit weakening on the king side, but it's not 100% a move that it cannot be played. It can be played, but it's more like realistically here, castles, bishop d3. The reason for that is simply so he doesn't have to deal with any possible pin, right? So you could start moving bishop b2, and then he covering all these diagonals. But I don't have to do this. I could go for knight f5. I could also castle, but knight f5. The reason this move is attractive because I'm looking at knight d4. Even here, knight d4. If he takes, this bishop pair is pretty strong. You would have two bishops and they're pretty strong here. He may consider this, but I still play that. Here, queen takes, knight d4. Here, queen... Oh, knight d4, queen takes g6. Alright, we're gonna try this anyway. Still, I mean, maybe here is concerning. Like, you may still take on e4 with the queen. There's also knight... I mean, the reason knight takes is knight d4. You attack both pieces. The queen and the bishop on e2. Which is the reason why queen takes, you play here, you gain a tempo by checking first before you grab on e2. So this little difference makes a... It's really critical here, and that's the reason why you may take... I mean, I could still castle and claim knight d4. I mean, let's say he takes here, knight d4, maybe takes, and this is still hanging. I mean, I still like black's here. Black feels like he's active on the, very active play. Hopefully this is learning enough for people. I mean, oh, knight takes. That's a little bit of a surprise. So I could castle, but he may play here and knight d4. He may just take, honestly. And that's going to be a double pawn, even though I have the bishop pair. It's not easy. I think knight d4 is that right now is actually interesting. I mean, now he doesn't have his chance to take on g6 because he took with a knight as opposed to taking with the queen. So now he plays here, which, the choice is really limited. Like, he could play here or here. The only concern, though, like, as opposed to this move over here, is actually bishop f5. Like, is he walking into a pin like this? Is it okay or bad, or does it matter? Does he still have g4 and I have to go back, for example? Or could I take? Could we take on e4? No, I mean, this feels like it may not matter much. I mean, queen d1, queen d3, because the same plan is maybe I could still castle and he's still going to play bishop b2. But you always have to be careful. You're walking to in a pin like this. Is it good or bad? Maybe he wants to keep his bishop on d1. That's also like he wants to play bishop d1. So if he has his queen on d1, he doesn't have a way to do it. All right, we're gonna castle though. I mean, this feels like reasonable way to play. I didn't feel like this does anything for me. Realistically, it looks good, but it doesn't achieve the goals. I mean, I'm assuming Bishop d1 is not a terrible move. I mean, I'm assuming this is the way he could play. And we may have to give some thoughts about Bishop f5. So the rook at f8, it's like, you know, active. As I said before, rook love open file, even if it's semi-open or, you know, still attacking on the enemy's pieces. So this rook is way active. And this is the reason why when you open up, when I talked about here, once I take here, things are opening up. When I said knight f, you know, when you play knight f6 or f5, I talked about f5. You take, it opens up. It opens up for your rook being active on f8. I don't blame him sinking because this position is complicated. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if I see rook b1, bishop b2, bishop d1. Choices are really limited. Bishop e3. However, this move is really interesting because maybe bishop f5 is something to think about right now, because actually this is like a big time pin. I'm assuming he's gonna take. Take, but this pin is still annoying. Or I could still take and claim bishop f5. But then the reason bishop e3 is because now the knight is going to be under attack. I don't know, maybe bishop d1 is interesting, more interesting. There's also knight f5, but it doesn't really do much. I already committed to put the knight on d4. I could also take. All right, we could take. I mean, he's going to trade on d4 anyway. We're going to trade on d4 anyway. I mean, does he play like... I mean, that feels... That feels interesting. So queen h4 is, you know, you develop a move and you attack. We are attacking on e4 right now. I mean, it would surprise me if you play like this. f3 looks like the more reasonable move. f3 defending. We have here, though, that's actually maybe g3 and... g3 is a little bit... The queen is not in an optimal situation. So could we play like a play on the queen side? Let's play here. I'm assuming a3. So if he plays something like this, we may play like b6. And a3, this feels like the right way to play. The reason here, b6, so we could stop the pawn from ever moving. Maybe c4 would be extra weak later. So that's the reason why I played e5. So if I take here, I take everything. I could try this, take everything. This opened up for the file. He might be going to rook e7. We could take here. There must be some c5 break, though, that I could be concerned about. I'll try it. Try this whole thing. The clock is ticking, so I don't have too many choices. So I'm gaining some tempo here by moving this. So g3 is met by queen e7. Yeah, the queen here will be stuck. Some kind of knight f2. I don't have queen takes, of course. The queen is guarding c4. So it's something like here. But this may weaken up the king a little bit, considering I still have some pieces on the king side. I mean, I'm saying that he could play like this. Yeah, this feels like one way to play. Bishop f2. I have to go back. But you don't want to go back to d8. You want to queen e7 is good enough. And the concern is maybe I'm allowing him some activity on a7. Maybe that's not a good choice. I mean, maybe I could... Yeah, b6 is not playable. I mean, here, b6 is bishop takes. The queen will be hanging. I mean, this is not a big deal per se. I mean, it just attacks a pawn. I mean, it's... I mean, maybe it is a big deal. I mean, I could go back here, but it must be c5. I don't want to be passive and defend a pawn like this. This c5, perhaps. If I take here, pawn takes, v6. Still here. I'm gonna offer him a draw, and I don't think he's gonna take it. I mean, it maybe feels like it's equal right now, but he's not. He's gonna play on d5. I mean, potential. I went from like attacking to like being, you know, defense. He declines. Okay, fair enough. So the only way to play on is like actively around here, c5. So the idea is maybe he wants to take, and we can to have more squares on b6. It's not clear how we could gain some advantage. He might. I mean, I could still, yeah, c5. So maybe I could get out of the way now because I could take that way. Maybe as well pre-move it. This actually, the reason these games are gonna still 10-0, but we are still playing some bullet kind of chess or blitz. You know, it's still pretty fast. So he could play on here, but it's not incredibly easy to claim advantage. Maybe, but there's also the clock. So he wants to take here, queen c7 maybe. Okay, maybe you could I give him... No, he just takes... There's no queen c7, still everything here. All right, so maybe move the king. It's a waiting move to see what he's going to do. I think he's going to take on d6. And then this issue, this square is weak for me, but is it enough? He took... I mean, is a rook e8 a move here, perhaps? Oh, maybe it is. I may have missed here, here, knight takes, here, rook takes. Still doesn't feel like it's win. This is gonna be the try. Or he... Oh, he has here. Wait, I could take... I don't think this works. Is here, queen c... d6, queen c6, b5, queen b8. This queen b8. So by the time he takes here, I take with check, and I Should be up a piece. There's also b6. I'm setting up some tactic. Should he take this here? Yeah, I think he misplayed this. I think he had rook e8. I think he had rook e8 here. And falls with knight takes d6. This plan with the reason is I take and then he has here, like that's gonna be a pawn. Take and queen takes. So now he's getting low on time and he may have like this feel like a little bit rushed. He takes here, but I have check. And he may go back here. I can start checking this b6. He doesn't have time for this, b6. So which way is best? Let's probably start checking. I mean, I could always move. Check. Bishop could move the other way. He's down on time. We should be winning this. This pawn is going nowhere, I don't think. We have time to stop it, like check and queen d1 if I have to. Alright, check. I mean, there's no mates, no possible... no mates here yet. Usually you have to look for potential mating ideas, but it's not close here. I mean, the bishop on g7 is still not in the game right now. So he's looking for here and here. Check. Well, maybe we are looking for mate, but he has bishop f2. Okay, try this. And we have queen d2. We're lining up for a potential mate. So here, queen d2, queen f4, or queen takes d6. This is what I was looking at. Let's really try this. This is the move. We may give a rematch, to be fair, but we could give a rematch if he wants. We could keep it at 2 games, that's fine. So I found around here, we can keep it at 2 games in this this video, but I actually felt like around here, I mean, here I was, this is winning, this is winning, going back, excuse me, going a little bit too fast. Yeah, here, unfortunately, I missed rook e8. Unfortunately, rook e8 was missed because simply, you have to go something like this, and then you're looking at the potential here, here, and here. This is actually should be good for him. I had a way to defend somehow. I mean, I think I misplay this. I should never allow this in reality. Like e5 might be okay. I should never allow this setup, like taking here, because simply rook belongs in open files. This is one good example where he's getting better. There's no need for that. I could play bishop f5 here, by the way. I could still play e5 here, bishop f5. I mean, g3, and I could play queen e7. It feels like equal. So something like this is equal. So apparently here is equal. I kind of knew going in, but there's always the clock involved in this kind of games. Unfortunately, I mean, maybe if it's 30 minutes, maybe I have more like maybe it's potential. You could, you find more ideas. You're avoiding ideas. You have more time to think about the game. But here is completely lost, unfortunately. So here he's just that's going to be winning. One already here, so up a piece. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. There's more content to share, more stuff to share, and it's just the beginning. Tell your friends about me. I mean, you guys could tell your friends or family member that, I'm doing this kind of content. It's good for people to improve, what exactly I'm looking at, why I felt like I was not doing better in certain position. This kind of stuff could help people learn. More games to share, more quality games like this. Maybe we could increase it by playing 30 minutes, but this is a little bit of a, more time control. You're not going to find opponents. I'm actually not fighting a lot of opponents now. The higher you get to rapid, the less opponents you find. There's also potential cheaters, as we all know it. So I try to play selection of players. I actually, when it comes to rapid, I like to play people that I know, like another title player or somebody that I know, that I have a history of games online, that you know, somebody that I could trust. And then you could play like a match, which is actually going to be like competitive enough to explain the moves, and you know, it's just going to be fun, more fun. But we have, we would take what we have and we go from there. More content to come, explaining the moves as we go along. Games are competitive. I'm not playing lower rated players. I'm still playing strong players. So hopefully you guys enjoy that, and you know, bring your friends. Bring your friends. Take care, folks. See you next video.